Mr. Banks, a.k.a. Free Throw Doctor. He is one of our heroes. He is one of our community heroes, okay? And when I say community, I'm talking about the black and white community. Mr. Don Banks. We award. Thank you. Thank you.
But like Pastor G just said, it's always, the Bible said it's always good to give credit where credit is due. And I'm not talking about myself, but I speak of people like Pastor Udell, who I've known for a long time and has been consistent in what he do. But first of all, I want to reflect on something that happened today on our way here. I was telling my wife and my son, I said, now, when I got up this morning, they were getting ready to come out. I talked to Pastor Udell earlier and asked him what at the time was the service going to start on the first Sunday. He told me 11:30. So I told my wife, I said, I was thinking to myself this morning, I was saying now, maybe I should go to the gym later on and shoot some free throws. But I said, but no, that wouldn't make much sense, because if God had enough love and enough respect for me and my family and many other people who woke up this morning, why would I put something like basketball or whatever before God's grace? And it's only by God's grace that we were able to communicate and fellowship on this day. So basketball is not even nowhere close to comparable to that. So I told my wife, I said, now, I got to do the right thing. I said, now, Satan is always operating, always trying to get us to do the opposite of what's right. So I said, I'm too strong within my spirit to allow something like this to deter me from going. I said, I know I wanted to be there on time, but the right thing to do is to do what I set out to do, to give respect where respect is due. And, you know, all praises and honors to God. And I move away from praising God. I want to say to Pastor Udell, in my lifetime, my mother and father passed away several years ago. My wife's parents, who were very close, we were all very close. But in the course of a lifetime, my mother and father always said, in the course of a lifetime, you may meet a few people who you can call friends that you may not be able to count on just two hands. But I said, this man has been so consistent at what he does. And as I think about him sometime, and I look at Pastor Udell, I look at a man that I believe in my heart and my soul, that's a real man. He's never come to me inaccurate. He's always been accurate about what he set out to do, or what God, I feel like God has instructed him to do. But I do appreciate the day of him seeing some good in what I do. But what I do is my gift from God. And the Bible states, I reflect on this a lot in Proverbs, the 22nd chapter, the first verse. A lot of people in places I go, they say, free throw doctor, you can make 100 free throws in a row. Now you can make shots with your eyes closed, when most people can't make them with their eyes open. Years ago, they said you're going to be famous. But years ago, I played into that. And everywhere I go, when they say it, I get up on cloud nine. I'm just the happiest person in the world, because they said, he can make 100. That doesn't mean much or nothing to me now. When people ask me about that, I flip the script. I say to them, hey, my wish is to live on earth productively 100 or more years. I trade 100 years to live on this earth and to try to carry out what I feel spiritually about what God has instilled in me, rather than make 100 free throws. That means nothing to me. That means to people that look at it. They into that. I'm not really into that no more. I do that because that's part of the job I do to make a living. But I care nothing about making 100 free throws. I want to live 100 or more years on earth. I think that's a good trade-off. That's a great trade-off. And I appreciate, as I close here, what Pastor Udell has done. And he knows, and everybody here knows, that nothing happens by accident, like he said. Nothing happens by coincidence. It's all about what the Bible said about God works in mysterious ways. He's had everything planned. Everything is set up. When we go to do something, we hoping it might come out like this or that. God has already fixed it. It's already a done deal. It's just the fact that it's a timing thing. He works in seasons. And that's what I want to say today, that I appreciate what Pastor Udell is doing. Things like this only encourages me even more to know that I'm trying to do the right things about life, about the human part of life. And I really do appreciate this, Pastor Udell. I mean, words can't describe how much this means to me. He knows I'm a very passionate person at times. But, you know, I'm a very strong person too. And, you know, I can, you know, really shed tears on something like this because I remember the times I've been acknowledged in places, and then I remember the times I put my heart into something and very few people see me good in it. So anything that God does, you know, for me and the work I do, I really thank God, you know, for this. I thank God that I chose this day to come, not because I got an award, because I told my son Dion this morning that we must go. If we walk in and Pastor Udell is speaking in his last 5 minutes, we must show up, because that's what I made up my mind to do. And once we make up our mind to follow what God instructs us to do, you don't have no choice. You got to do it. It must be done. Because if we don't do it, if we don't follow instructions, Pastor Udell said earlier, there's consequences. And we don't want to deal with that. But I appreciate everything. I really do. And I appreciate everybody here today was patient enough to allow me to say what's in my heart and in my mind to you today. Thank you, Pastor.